Dear viewers, welcome to this episode of Your Life, Your Money. This week, I thought I'll address the audience between 25 to 35 years of age group. This is a very interesting period of your life. There are things which you need to know. There are things which you should avoid at this particular age. I have brought for you 10 points which you need to know minutely and focus on. Each and every point that I discuss here is as important as the first point. Stay till the end of the video. There are so many things you can take up from this. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, your financial guide for a happy living.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
The age band 25 to 35, you can even consider from 20 to 35 if you are somebody who is employed by 20 or 21 years of age. The same thing will apply for you. This is the most interesting phase of your life, the most colorful phase of your life. This is a phase where a lot of things will happen. This is a time where you will have naya job, naya baby, naya gadi, naya baby, new experience of life, and everything which is very, very colorful will happen in this age. At the same time, this is an age which will sow the seeds of success in your life or sow the seeds of failure in your life. My wish is you be cognizant of the things that you need to do so that you will not sow the seeds of failure, but sow the seed of success in your life. Let's look at all the 10 points one by one. What is that you need to focus on? Point number one. There are no shortcuts in life. Write down this. Write it on your mirror where you see your face every day. If you try to do a shortcut, your life itself may get cut short. You have to ingrain this in your mind. You have to read this. You have to practice this day in and day out. If you don't do this, your life, instead of going in a positive way, will go downhill. You are made to believe that you can make lots of money by betting, by trading in futures and options, by playing the rummy circle, and all things. Take the thought out of your mind. The life is still in an evolutionary phase. The world still runs on the principles of evolution. The revolutions will not succeed. Revolutions can bruise you. It can completely ruin you. Do not believe in revolutionary ideas. Believe in evolutionary principles. That will never let you down. Slow and steady wins the race. In the game of hare and tortoise, you've all heard how tortoise still wins the game even though it is slow. And that is where the lesson is. Point number two. Remember, you are in an orbit changing phase. What is an orbit changing phase? An orbit changing phase is when your life moves from one phase which is controlled to another phase which is uncontrolled. Till the day you were studying and you got a job, you were under your parents' control. You depended on your parents' guidance. You depended on the ways and means your parents lived. You learned from that. Your money supply was controlled by your parents. So you had an orbit where everything was controlled. Now you have become an employee or started your own business or whatever it is. You have become independent. You are no more in the clutches of your parent. You have a salary, big, small, whatever it is, which hits your account. You could be out of the house. You could be moving into another territory. Remember, now you don't have a control. You don't depend on your parents for your day-to-day guidance. You don't depend on your parents for your money. You have abundant amount of money. And when the vehicle runs without a brake, unless you are a skillful driver, the chances of vehicle meeting with an accident is very, very real. The whole financial industry knows what happens in your life. It's a common knowledge. It designs schemes, it designs advertisement, it gives you a pop-up on your phone to do certain things. It says, buy this branded good for as little as 100 rupees, 200 rupees, take an EMI. You don't have a big salary, but you are moved by the brand campaigns and you click on it. And this can become a habit for you. Likewise, there are countless YouTubers, young guys who haven't even crossed 30 years of age, comes and start preaching you on the financial aspects of it. Nothing wrong in it. Due respect to each and every one of them. But the fact is, they too lack experience. They think You can earn enormous amounts of money and you can retire in next 5 years, 10 years. Take that thought out of your mind. You cannot retire in 5 to 10 years. There is a way the life goes on. You could be seeing examples which are outliers, which are by exception, which is a matter of luck. If you see Mark Zuckerberg earning huge amounts of wealth, that's an odd case. Everybody can't become a Mark Zuckerberg or some startup guy who has succeeded. For every person who has succeeded in that particular way, there are 100 different people who have failed. I am not trying to control your urge to excel in life, but I'm trying to tell you that if that happens, it's a matter of luck, but it will not happen by way of design. So always think the life goes through an evolutionary cycle. Be there. If you are lucky enough, you could be hitting the peak of success. You could be that odd man out. But for 99% of the people, that's not possible. Likewise, you may have lots of knowledge. You read, you watch television, you watch YouTube, you follow a lot of celebrities, and you are made to believe that this is the way life goes on. Remember, everything you read here is knowledge. It's information, but it is not wisdom. Wisdom is there in practicing, and practice gives you experience. Experience is one thing which cannot come to you just by watching or reading something like that. Only with the passage of time you get an experience. If you need to get the benefit of experience, all that you have to do is get hold of ethical financial advisors who can guide you how things have to be done. See, you are very young, you have certain amount of money with you. The only way your mind focuses at that point of time is, how will I save that expense? How will I do it myself and save that expense? But it will not teach you how you have to do things the right way. There are ways you have to do. How much of fixed income you should have in your portfolio, how much should be there in the equity, which one should you do first, which one should you do later, how much of asset allocation you have to do, how the budgeting has to be done. None of these things will be known to you. It's a good idea that you get hold of a good professional, ethical financial advisor who can completely transform your life. Point number 3, the principle of financial discipline. Financial discipline is doing things in a very disciplined manner. Financial discipline is knowing the difference between the needs and wants. Financial discipline is avoiding buying what you do not need. Financial discipline is organizing yourself. Financial discipline is knowing what you can afford and what you cannot afford. If you try to buy things which you do not need, a day will come in your life where you will be forced to sell what you need. There are people, countless youngsters, get moved by the parents' advice that, okay, you've got a job now, the next thing that you have to do is go and buy a house. This is a cardinal mistake a lot of youngsters make during their young age, particularly between 25 to 35. You must avoid buying a house, particularly if you are there in India. That will constrict your life. Understand, do I really need it or is it my want? If it is my want, then you postpone it to a later day. So discipline is something you should practice. Every time you decide to buy something, stop for a while. Ask your question, is it my need or want? What damage it will do if I decide to buy it the next year or after 2 years? And if it says no damage done, then you should postpone the buying, and that will solve many problems. Point number 4. This is a time to discharge your responsibility for your parents and society. This is a time where you are without any family responsibilities. You have finished your education, you have a job on your hand right now, you have good amount of money, you have no responsibility of family, you don't need to pay anyone, do nothing, but good amount of cash is flowing into your life. You have to discharge your responsibilities now towards your parents and towards your society. For example, if you are a person who has taken the education loan and have done your master's or education, the first thing that you have to do is start repaying this education loan promptly, as early as possible. The education loan what you have taken is supported by guarantees from your parent. If you do not repay this money, it will trouble your parent and his retirement planning may get affected. At the same time, there are so many charitable institutions. They give very soft loans for the purpose of education. Unless you refund this money back to them, their ability to help another person in need will be curtailed. So discharge your responsibility, pay back those education loans what you have taken. Likewise, there are countless people who finish their graduation, masters without taking an education loan. Instead of an education loan, the parent has helped. Go back, ask your parent how much money they have spent. It's just not the question of paying the college fee. College fee is a small amount. What is the amount of money you spent on your living expenses? The invisible expenses of education are far higher than the visible expenses of tuition fees, books, and other things. Your parents would have compromised their life. They could have compromised their retirement planning, and they have, in their enthusiasm to help you succeed in your life, have spent a lot of money, and your parent could be just staring at a retirement. You must sit with them, ask them how much money they have paid, are they prepared for the retirement, are they comfortable financially, and you should take remedial action. Because you are still not married and you have cash and you need no one's permission, I suggest two things you need to do towards your parents at this stage. One, I said, sit with them, discuss their finances. Second is, gift a good health insurance policy for your parent. Your parents will not have a large health insurance. Suppose if they have a large health insurance, which is what they call is 1 lakh, 2 lakh, which is no health insurance today, you can buy them a top-up plan. A top-up plan is very cheap to buy. Cover your parents. That will make sure that if there were to be a major hospital bill, then your parents don't have to pay from their pocket, as well as you are not at a receiving it at that point of time. Suppose if your parents are not able to pay, it becomes your responsibility to clear these bills. So buying a top-up health insurance plan is very meaningful, very cheap. Gift it to your parents. This is number one. The second thing that you have to do is, whether they ask it or not, think if they have paid for your education. Let's say, imagine if you are to be an 18 years old and start your own business. You don't ask money from your parent. You go to a bank, draw the money, take a loan, and then you start your business. Think that your education is also an entrepreneurship. You're drawn from your parents. You have an obligation to give them back. Start a pension plan for them. Pay for next 7, 8, 10 years. Whatever the maximum that you can give it to them, you give it to them as a gift, as a pension policy. What is the benefit to them and what is the benefit to you? The benefit to them is when they retire, if they are not prepared for this, it will help their finances. The benefit for you is when you reach your 30, 35 years later, you have a family responsibility and you may not have enough money to spare for your parents. Now you are in a free orbit without much responsibilities. This thing you can discharge right now. Create a stream of income for your parents. That gives you a feeling of well-being within. It feels you like I've discharged my responsibility and you are really doing a great job. Think about it. When you start your job, gift a top-up health insurance or a full-fledged health insurance to your parents and give them a pension plan. If you want to do any of these things, you can make best use of services provided by us. Reach out to us through a WhatsApp message. Our number is there in the description box there. Our link is also provided. Click on the link. It takes you to the WhatsApp. Send us a message. And based on what you can afford, we can see what best help we can do for your parent. That's a thing which you must do at this age. Point number 5. Buy a large life insurance. You are very young now. It's easy to cover your life. You should buy a large life insurance. Of course, the insurance companies will put restrictions how much insurance they can give. Because you are working at a lower level, your salaries could be lesser, but even then, it's possible for you to buy a large life insurance. Many people do a big mistake during buying the life insurance. Number one, you should calculate what is your human life value. You should know how much you should buy. You should know what are the things which has to go into it. You should know what might go right or what might not work out well in your life. How long you have to keep the policy. Which type of policy you should buy. If you cannot afford, what you can do. It calls for an advisor's introspection and advisor's examination. It's a good idea. Talk to your advisor and think what is the best insurance policy that you can buy and take their advice. If not, we have done a lot of videos on our channel. Check through the playlist Life Insurance. Detailed videos on how much you should buy, what mistakes you do, what are the things to be incorporated. We have also given here in our playlist on the insurance related subject. You can be guided. But nevertheless, don't do the mistake of not buying large life insurance when you're young. Point number 6, your financial investments can wait. You're not in a hurry. There are a lot of people say, I'm already late, I'm 24, kind of a stylish way they say. No, I should have started 10 years before. It can wait, don't worry. But what you should really invest at this point of time is invest in knowledge, invest in skill, invest in getting one another certification. You know where you make the most of the money? You make most profit, most money by upskilling yourself. You will remain relevant. You will become a compelling case for prospective employers. Always at this age, you are young. You still have that mind to learn new things. You have the ability. You don't have the family responsibility. You have the required amount of money. And this is the time constantly keep upskilling yourself. Have a target. This year, I will add this skill. This year, I'll add this certification. This year, I'll invest this much money into doing all these things. A good idea is when you start your job is to create a fund which is meant for upskilling yourself. It could be just a bank RD account. It could be a bank FD account. It could be anything. You don't have to worry about what returns you get out of this fund. It's a short-term fund. It's a medium-term fund. You don't have to worry about power of compounding. All that you have to do is you get a X amount of salary. Out of this, a portion of this, I will keep it here. I'll keep it secure. I will use it whenever I want it, which could be 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line. Have a fund exclusively for skill development. And which skill, you know it better. Which industry you are working, what is that you are lacking, what your mind says, if I have this particular certification, it will improve my salaries. You know it the best. But this is where you have to invest. Close your ears and eyes for all investing activities at that point of time. If you do not have enough money, that's perfectly fine. I know of countless people who come up in life with meager salaries, but just with discipline, with proper approach. So don't believe any person who says that you have to oversave, invest now, do all these things, then only you'll become rich. That's all crap. I have no hesitation to say that. Point number 7, learning the art of budgeting. The biggest skill you can acquire at this stage is learning the art of budgeting. A budget will help you build a discipline. A budget will help you to pre-plan things what you want to do. Learn the art of budgeting. Know how much you are earning. Know how much is your bare minimal existential expenses. This is what I need for my food. This is what I need for my commutation. This is what I need for my clothing. You know this. Then it comes to the discretionary buying. In the discretionary buying, what is that you need to know? Or do I have to buy a branded goods? If I have to buy a two-wheeler, which one do I have to buy? Should I buy that expensive bike? It could be your want. It may not be your need. If it is a want, I'm not telling that don't go behind wants. If it is a want, there is a way you have to handle it. If it is your want, create a fund, build a fund, have a target by which time you should have that particular want. Make it happen. Do not become impulsive. Go and buy it against an EMI. Whenever you take it on an EMI, you are helping somebody else's business and your life is constricting. An EMI has a principal and an interest. The amount of money you earn by way of salary in life is finite. It is not infinite. If you lose certain amount of money on paying the interest, it will constrict your life. The only exception is when you buy something which is a growing asset like a land or a building or something like that, which will appreciate over a period of time. That may help when you buy. But again, we have to go through the calculations there. In most cases, when you buy things on an EMI, make no mistake, your life is constricted. So avoid this, rather do budgeting, have a planning, and that will bring a lot of dividends for you in your financial life. Point number 8, build an emergency fund. This is a must. Building an emergency fund is the most important part at this particular age. You are between 25 to 35. Your life passes through a high expense period right now. You have nothing and you want everything. You don't have anything of your own. You may be moving to another place. You want to go and stay in a place there. You have to set up a house. Your fridge is required. A television is required. You need a vehicle. You need to travel. You may fall in love. You may want to spend time around. You want to dine out. You have to set up your family. A new child might come. Lot of expenses between 25 to 35. We call it as early phase of life, high expense period, low salaries at this point of time. So if you try to over invest elsewhere and do not take care of your emergency fund needs, then you will end up paying the EMI. Rather, focus on building a good emergency fund. You can build emergency fund using the bank FDs and bank RD. You can do a conservative hybrid funds in a mutual fund. Anything is fine. Build a large enough emergency fund. How to build an emergency fund? There is a detailed video on our channel. Search for that and you will get it, and I've given you the detailed ways how you can go about. Emergency fund will help you to tide over this period of high expense period. You don't need to do a lot of investing around this period. See, your expenses at this time are need based. You need to have a fridge. You need to set up your house. You will pass through a phase of getting married, having a child, everything. This is all essentials of life. It cannot wait. That is why build a large emergency fund, and don't build an emergency fund thinking that the stock markets will give you a higher rate of return. The simple way to build an emergency fund is keep it as a pool of money, keep it away from volatility, that means prices moving up and down, keep it in a liquid form, that means whenever you need this money is available to you. Focus on this. Point number 9, start your retirement planning today. Small action, big benefit. When I say start your retirement planning, you don't need to be having a big plan. All that you have to do is, whether you get 40,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees, 2 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, a small portion of that money, dedicate it for retirement planning. Put it in a retirement plan, put it in an NPS account, put it in a mutual fund, wherever it is fine. It should grow and it should create wealth. Don't start your retirement planning with a PPF account, with a bank FD. It should be put into a place where it creates big amount of wealth. The theme to follow here is small amounts of money, put it, make it a Bhagavan ka hundi, don't touch it, forget that you have put your money there. The only time you will open it is when you retire. The classic difference in this age is you do not have lots of money at this age, but you will have lots of time with you. How can you create money using the time which is available to you? Small amounts of money, long periods of time. This is where the power of compounding works. Every year of delay costs you a lot of additional money to plan for retirement planning in years ahead. The wise thing is small amounts of money, 500 rupees, okay, 1000 rupees, okay, 5000 rupees is okay. Whatever it is, start, don't touch, and put it in a wealth creation account. Don't put it in a bank account. This will do wonders by the time you retire. Point number 10, do not forget to live. There are people who get moved by YouTubers. They say your saving rate is very small, you have to save a lot of money. No, don't constrict your life. Don't create cravings in your life. This is a phase where you have no responsibilities, or your responsibilities are small compared to what happens subsequently in life. You want to do anything in life within your means, you try to do it. You want to dine out, you want to go out, you want to go on a picnic, want to buy things in a reasonable way. Do everything. Don't be hooked into the belief that you have to retire in next 5-10 years and save a lot of money. The way you feel today, you will never feel like that in rest of your life. It's a God's gift that you are between 25 to 35. You are healthy, you are energetic, you are wanting to do things. You have no other responsibilities at this point of time in life. Enjoy this God's gift. Do what you want to do. The adventure, learning, spending money, hanging out with your friends. Do everything. Spend some amount of money. Spend a good amount of money. And when you reach 35 years of time, the serious phase of life is there for you to work on. Till then, do enjoy life. Do not forget to enjoy your life. Do not oversave. Dear viewers, hope the video I've done helped you to understand what are the 10 things that you should focus on at an age of 25 to 35. If it did impress you, if it did give you convincing answers, what is that you have to focus on? Do not to forget to give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, it's time you click on the subscribe button and press the bell icon. I give you 2 videos every week. There is no jargon here. It's full of common sense. It's full of value. Do not miss one single video. Click that subscribe button now. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I shall be back with you next Friday with yet another thought on your life, your money. Till then, stay safe, Jai Hind.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.